What's up, mofos? Doing a little deer hunting. Wanted to show you my easy setup that I got going on and how easy it is to do this stuff on your own. A lot of people don't, I think, because they're intimidated. I'm just on a piece of random public land in northern Michigan. It's just an area that I've hunted a lot. I had property kind of close to this previously, so I'm familiar with this area. But I mean, basically just look on Google Maps, find some public land, look what kind of dirt roads are going in there on the satellite, whatever, find an area. Do some scouting if you can, if not. But so this is gun season, which used to intimidate me because there's always a lot of people out. But I mean, the farther north you go, you can find spots where there's nobody. There's people in the vicinity, but nobody that close. Like I've heard shots, but nothing that close. I mean, there's not a ton of deer either, so that's kind of the downside. You're not hunting on a farm in southern Michigan or something. So yeah, I've been here for about 4 days. Here's my setup, man. Basically, sleeping in the car. So I used to sleep, I have in the past, slept in the front seat. And that's super uncomfortable, to be honest. Or obviously set up a tent. I didn't set up a tent this time. I'm just kind of sleeping in the back here. I found this to be super comfortable. Move that front seat in a Jeep, you can push it all the way up. So if you go diagonal, it's super comfortable, man. And it's way warmer than a tent just because you're off the ground. The only downside of that is you got to move everything out of your back. So, I mean, if you have a little SUV or something, or even like a hatchback or whatever, where you can push the seats back, you could totally sleep in the back. So then all I've got is the cooler, seat, which you don't really need. I brought some wood. Not gonna have a fire because this is all dry. I don't really want to start a forest fire. Water, a couple jugs. Bring the basics, man. I got TP. I got some pots, pans, stove, French press. As far as food, I usually just bring freeze-dried stuff. Got some mac and cheese, freeze-dried stuff, peanut butter, stuff like that. But I mean, that's going basic. Obviously, you get more complicated. But yeah, I mean, so I'm just parked off this little 2-track. I'll show you my bed setup tonight when I set it up in there. Got a little deuce set up over there, and stay tuned for some deuce tips. Oh, frick, yeah. Gotta have that catch. Side note, I only brought this wood because it was at my house. I don't normally bring store-bought wood unless everything is super wet. Obviously, there's plenty of wood here. Also, another side note, I do have a tent. Haven't set it up yet because I wasn't sure if I was gonna move. Even if I'm sleeping in my car, I sometimes kind of like to have a tent just so I can lay down, or if I don't feel like sleeping in the car, I can take a midday snooze. Also, cool to keep your stuff in there, like your clothes, everything else, so your car's not all bogged down if you're sleeping in your car. Just some tips. And wanted to explain the wood situation because I think my last video I also had some bought wood. I actually normally don't do that, okay? So stop asking. Second side note, this is free. This type of camping is free. You get a little thing from the state of Michigan website. It's called Dispersed camping. You put this tag up while you're camping somewhere like on a tree or something, and it's free. You're supposed to leave this at your site. So I guess if conservation officer comes and rolls by the site, they can make sure you didn't leave a bunch of stuff. And then if you did, they know where you live because you got to put your address on here. I don't do that because it seems like I'm littering just leaving this piece of paper. I never leave any garbage or anything, so. Oh, down the wrong pipe. Anyway, it's free, man. Get out there, do this stuff. It's public land. Utilize it. It's free. Heading to the blind. It's my vehicle. Little campsite right there. By about a quarter mile down to the blind. Looking a little janky with this wind, man. Just straighten it out. This is it, man. Little stool, cheap stool, heater, key factor. Got a nice little view. Gets you probably about this little opening here. It's probably about 100 yards or so. All right, here's the setup in my tiny Jeep. I have a two-door Jeep. Able to push this seat way up. I'm about 5'10". I fit like kind of perfectly in here. I put a little bag underneath here to give this so it's level. It's surprisingly very comfortable. A little pad, a couple of pillows, sleeping bag. Nice. Ah!